craving that deep, complex flavor that only a truly homemade bolognese can deliver? And what if I told you we're pairing that with an Italian tagliatelle straight from Italy? Let's dive into the heart of Italian comfort food. Forget the jars. Today we're going back to basics and creating a bolognese sauce that will transport you straight to Italy. Also served over tagliatelle straight from Italy. Let's get started.
The ingredients for the bolognese are 2 cups of beef stock, 2 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, 5 ounces of dry red wine, 3 cloves of minced garlic, a quarter stick of butter, 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper, 2 bay leaves, 1 tablespoon of dried oregano, 1 pound of 80/20 beef, 1 pound of Italian sausage, mirepoix, which is 2 small onions, 2 stalks of celery, 2 carrots, and diced finely, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and black pepper to taste. Also, 3/4 cup of milk or cream.
First thing we're going to do here is we're going to put a couple tablespoons of oil in our pan. Our pan's already heated up. One of the key things you want to do here, we're going to sweat this
The
mirepoix out. And again, here's the mirepoix that we're cooking with. Right now, I'm going to tell you, you can hear that sizzle. This pan's a little too hot.
How much butter?
We use a quarter stick.
Okay.
About 3 tablespoons of butter.
Thank you.
So we're going to put that in the pan. We're going to put the mirepoix in here. This has to be cooked slow. This process of cooking this mirepoix should take about 10 minutes or so. We're going to put that in. We're going to start with our fresh ingredients of, let's say, our spices are red peppers, crushed red pepper. And right now, the only other thing we're going to add in here is black pepper. Now, what we really don't want to do is have that sizzle. It's sizzling a little bit, but this will cool down. We don't even have the butter melt yet. This will cool down pretty quickly. Now, I'm just going to slowly stir this in.
So do you have to keep stirring, or can you leave it and walk away?
You can leave it and walk away. Don't take your eyes off it. You're not. It's not time to go do the laundry.
Okay.
Okay. We'll be back when the mirepoix is finished sweating down. All right, our mirepoix is sweated down and looking very yummy. We're gonna take the mirepoix and put that back into the bowl we started with. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn up our heat a little bit.
Okay.
We need to brown the beef and pork. That's our next step here.
Okay.
I'm gonna add just a little bit more olive oil to start this off. Maybe a teaspoon there. And
Any prepping of this, or we're just dumping it in?
we're just dumping it in.
Okay.
Now, on the opposite of wanting mirepoix to not sizzle, we want this to sizzle.
Okay.
We want this to cook down quickly. Break it all up in little chunks.
So we're browning the meat.
We're browning the meat.
Okay.
Exactly what we're doing. Now, I made this is my go-to dish for when friends or family are coming over, and it might be a last minute. The other thing is, you notice there's only the 2 of us. I'm making like 3.5 pounds of food here. We will have this as leftover a couple times this week. It's just, I actually love bolognese.
This makes my day.
The bolognese.
I know,
the
extra bolognese.
Yeah, too bad, extra bolognese. The bolognese, like any Italian slow cooked sauce, the bolognese develops flavors the more it sits. So the first time you have it as one flavor, the next time it sits in the refrigerator for a couple days,
It's a different kind.
it's a different kind of flavor. You see our meat starting to brown up here. Full disclosure, this is a dish that was not served to my family growing up. My family, we didn't want for anything, but this is a meat dish. This is not a red sauce. This is a meat dish. feeding a large family this amount of meat would not be something that my grandparents would have done. My parents didn't make this dish.
So when did you start making it?
You know, I saw a show. I think I saw Mario Bertelli make it, and I'm like, man, that dish looks good. That looks really good. I think I'll give it a shot at making that myself. So it was sometime. I probably started making this about 20 years ago.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna switch camera.
Okay.
A little bit, Ashley.
Woo.
Ashley likes to chop the meat.
Okay. I feel like I'm doing my part. I'm left-handed, so you know.
So that's it.
Obviously, you want to brown the meat, but you don't want large chunks.
Right,
you want it to be really
Uniform.
nice and small, bite-sized, nothing too
And that's my
big and chunky. That's just your preference.
that's my preference. I mean, you can make this meal with steak, or a high quality chuck or something like that, and that'd be larger pieces. We're getting close here. I can see it. So the next ingredient we're going to add into this.
So we've now successfully browned the meat.
There we go. We now successfully have browned the meat. This is why I need Ashley in my life. She tells me where we are.
Hey, if I were, I don't, you know.
This is fun for us. This is our,
If you don't know how to do this, you need.
This is only
step
by
Okay,
step.
so what is this?
So this is tomato paste.
Okay. How much tomato paste
This
is
is
it?
2 cans of tomato paste. About
Gus
12
uses
about-
Gento.
about 12.
2 of the small
ounces.
cans,
2
right?
small cans of tomato
Small
paste.
cans of tomato paste. Because now tomato paste comes in a million different can sizes. So.
I actually like to buy the bigger cans, but
Do you?
yeah, they never have them.
Ooh.
So anyway, we put the tomato paste in here.
Mm. Wow.
What?
I knocked the camera, but I think I knocked it in a good way. So, okay.
Ugh.
Sorry.
Actually, the camera adjuster on set.
Sorry.
We're going to add about
Which
5
one?
ounces of Italian wine here. Use a good wine when you're cooking.
Red wine.
So a hearty
Do
red.
not put Chardonnay
Yeah.
in your.
The red actually releases some of the flavor in the tomatoes and adds a complexity. And I'll let this cook until the wine is absorbed in there. One thing we didn't mention here, this is a slow cooked sauce. We'll let this cook for 3 to 4 hours and just add to the complexity of it. Now, we're also going to add 3 or 4, maybe a tablespoon and a half of Worcestershire sauce. We just talked about the Worcestershire sauce that Guy Fieri likes to say. It adds a depth and complexity. I would say if you're vegan, you can't eat that, but you wouldn't eat this if you were vegan anyway. So
Okay.
that's a fish sauce. Yeah, that's some fish flavors in there. As this comes together, we add our other ingredients here. We're going to add a teaspoon and a half, a teaspoon of oregano.
Okay.
I like to put 2 bay leaves in there.
Okay. Why 2? Just what you do.
Just what you do.
Alrighty.
And then we're going to add 2 cups of beef stock. We're going to add our mirepoix, our cooked, sweated mirepoix, back to the can. We're going to turn our heat down.
I'm just gonna set this.
Once we get this all incorporated, this will be this is where we're just going to let it simmer for a few hours. Hey, by the way, if you like what Ashley and I are doing, subscribe and share with us. We really appreciate you. Right now, our thing is to let this simmer
Simmer.
for a couple hours.
Okay.
We're going to stir it every so often, maybe every 15, 20 minutes. We're going to stir this and let these flavors just melt. We want this to be just below, it's just at a simmer. We want tiny, small bubbles coming up on this.
So this is a low and slow. This is not something that you do quickly.
This is a low and a slow. if you have time, if you want to start this in the afternoon and cook this and bring it dinner, if you want to impress your friends, this is a very easy meal to make. It's not. I mean,
It's not quick. But
it's not quick, but it's easy. Simple ingredients, simple thing. If you're, to make it easy for yourself, I encourage you to buy the mirepoix at the store. Buy the pints of mirepoix. It's already cut. Buy your ground beef or ground pork. You can do all pork. You can do all beef. You can do all turkey. You can do all chicken. All these different ways of doing this. With tomato paste, the mirepoix, back to the Worcestershire sauce. This all adds to the complexity of this dish. We are going to let this simmer for a couple hours, and then we'll cook the pasta, plate it up, and dinner will be ready. So the pot is boiling for the tagliatelle. Ashley's going to put the pasta into the pot, and then we're going to final season the bolognese.
First of all, these come in these adorable little nests.
Aren't they cool?
They're so cute. I mean, it's like, okay. So I'm putting in about what, 6?
6, 8, 6, 7,
Oh.
7.
3.
There we go. 7, right?
That was 6. And this is 7.
Right there we go.
Okay.
Pasta's in the pot. Let's test this.
I'm going to sneak over here.
Get a spoon over here. Let's test this. That is like perfectly seasoned.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little heavy cream to this. I'm sorry. Yeah, heavy cream. I'm going to temper this first. You see this?
I'm like, wow, what are you doing there?
And I know this looks disgusting, but we don't have the proper cookware here.
Okay, so explain what you're doing.
I'm adding heavy cream to this. This is just going to mellow this out a little bit.
Okay.
There's a little acidity to this. This is how we finish the bolognese.
So
about a half a cup. Yeah, what were you saying?
So when you said temper, what does that mean? So you just added some of the bolognese to the cream.
Heavy cream. So by tempering it, we mean we're going to match the temperature or get it closer so that the cream
doesn't break.
Doesn't curdle when it hits the
Okay,
pan.
because that can happen and that's nasty.
That's nasty. You ever have a coffee creamer like?
Yes, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So it ruins the whole cup. But
We don't want to ruin 3-4 hours of work here. The pasta is boiling nicely here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give a stir to that pot.
Okay.
We'll come back to this pot. Make sure that's all incorporated. Clean up our messes here.
Right.
And that's probably going to be it for our bolognese.
Okay.
This is going to cook the pasta at about 6-7 minutes. Ooh, just made a mess. It's all right. So again, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that now. Follow us. Ask questions. Tell us the dishes you would like to see us make. We're focused on Italian here early on, but we've got a lot more recipes up our sleeve. 7, right?
That was 6. And this is 7.
Right there we go.
Okay.
Pasta's in the pot. Let's test this.
I'm going to sneak over here.
Get a spoon over here. Let's test this. That is like perfectly seasoned.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little heavy cream to this. I'm sorry. Yeah, heavy cream. I'm going to temper this first. You see this?
I'm like, wow, what are you doing there?
And I know this looks disgusting, but we don't have the proper cookware here.
Okay, so explain what you're doing.
I'm adding heavy cream to this. This is just going to mellow this out a little bit.
Okay.
There's a little acidity to this. This is how we finish the bolognese.
So
about a half a cup. Yeah, what were you saying?
So when you said temper, what does that mean? So you just added some of the bolognese to the cream.
That'd be cream. So, by tempering it, we mean we're going to match the temperature or get it closer so that the cream
doesn't break.
Doesn't curdle when it hits the pan.
Okay, because that can happen and that's nasty.
That's nasty. You ever have a coffee creamer like?
Yes, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So it ruins the whole cup. But
We don't want to ruin 3-4 hours of work here. The pasta is boiling nicely here. We're going to give a stir to that pot.
Okay.
We'll come back to this pot. Make sure that's all incorporated. Clean up our messes here.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be it for our bolognese.
Okay.
This is going to cook the pasta at about 6-7 minutes. Ooh, just made a mess. It's all right. So again, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that now. Follow us. Ask questions. Tell us the dishes you would like to see us make. We're focused on Italian here early on, but we've got a lot more recipes up our sleeve. All right, the pasta is cooked. Let's plate this up. Drain our pasta. That look good?
Yeah, that looks amazing.
It's a little warm. Let's try this. Man, the homemade flavor of that is just amazing. The depth of the flavor, really tasty. The tomatoes, the meat.
Awesome.
What do you think, guys? Let's hear what Ashley.
Right.
Let's see what Ashley has to say. It's a little warm.
Okay. So here's another thing to note. Just loves the pasta. Sauce. It's the ultimate comfort food. So good.